So here we are. Well, hello everyone. So I've come down to Salisbury today to try out a Peugeot Metropolis 400i. There aren't any dealers in Bristol at the moment, although that may change. So I've had to make the trip, 40-minute journey or so, to come and try it out here. It didn't start too well actually, because I came to have a go on the demo model and they couldn't start it. There's something wrong with the spark plug apparently, so yeah, anyway, they've changed the spark plug and it all seems to be working fine. Said it was out on demo yesterday and it was all hunky-dory, no problems at all. So I've just taken it, before I started speaking, I just took it for a little spin up and down, and yeah, initially I was quite surprised at how different it feels to the MP3 500. Well, first and foremost, the steering is definitely heavier on the front, there's no question about that. And I found that a little bit unnerving initially, but I'm actually getting used to it now, and yeah, it seems to be okay at the moment. I'm just going to go head on into town now just to see how it gets on there. I mean, what I will say straight off the bat is it's way smoother at lower revs than the 500 that I tried, which was really clunky at the lower revs. This one feels really, I mean, it sounds, you know, pretty growly, but it just feels much smoother at really slow speeds, and for me that's quite a big thing actually, to be honest with you. It also feels, I don't know if it's the way how it's designed, but it just feels a little less top heavy than the MP3 500 does. That felt, I just feel a little bit less likely like I'm going to topple it over. So obviously that's a big plus for me as well. So dashboard's really nice. Loving the handbrake, although obviously I'm realising that's a electrical one, so you know there's always the argument about whether or not that's, you know, another thing to go wrong. I mean, I will point out, I think this does seem to have a lot more gizmos in terms of, you know, keyless fob. I mean, that turn there, that was definitely not as easy there. I mean, I'm being very cautious at the moment with the way I drive it. I think you have to really go, you have to lean into the corners a bit more with this than you do on the MP3. So that would definitely need to be practiced a bit. And yeah, pickup's pretty good. It's plenty fast for me, in all honesty. Of course, this doesn't have the ABS, which is the big downer for me. It's the thing that I'm probably, you know, most concerned about. Although, to be fair, the Tri-City that I'm riding at the moment doesn't have ABS either, although the newer model does. So now whether or not they're going to bring that out on the Peugeot, I don't know. It doesn't look like they are, because I think pretty sure the 2015 models are already out, and they haven't got it. So I don't know how much of a deal breaker that is for people. I really like the dash actually. Do I like it more than the MP3? Probably not. I don't know. Got to get used to the leaning in to the turns on this. Definitely not as... Well, it's just maybe just a question of trusting it a bit more, getting used to it. Which I think probably is what it is all about. Wing mirrors are great, really good. This one's got the optional hand guards fitted there on the front. So let's see if we can filter a bit on this here. It's obviously going to be pretty important for me. I mean, it's a big bike, it's a big heavy bike, as is the MP3. I mean, this is the big difference. But it does feel really good at the slowest speeds, I have to be honest with you. Thank you there, thanks. Well, I'm going to be taking this super easy because I've obviously got this out on dem. And I'm not used to it width-wise, etc. It's my old college, that, not a technology one, but the art college. Spent 3 years there. Yeah, I think I just get used to that. I mean, it definitely feels different. But the other thing I noticed when I was going on the back roads, and I was just initially, it is quite clunky. I'm not sure how over potholes and stuff. I'm not sure if that's the fact that the wheels are a little bit smaller. I think they're 12s instead of 13s on this. Whereas I think the rears are 13 and the fronts are 12s. That picks up plenty fine for me, that does. I mean, obviously this isn't anything like a real super bike, I'm sure. Obviously it's a 400, but be really interested to know how this does fuel economy wise compared to the 500. I think they've done quite a lot of work with the 500. They've put an eco mode in, etc., to make it a little bit more fuel efficient. No, that feels quite good actually. It's just in terms of cockpit space, I much prefer this to the MP500 because it hasn't got the petrol filler in the middle. You've got room in the middle, and also the brake pedal is set further in, so there's a really good natural position for your foot to sit by the brake pedal, which to me, actually, to be absolutely honest with you, that's potentially a really good reason. A really good plus even on it, because on the 500, that's a that would end up being a bit of a deal breaker, I think, for me. One thing I've noticed, there's some chap in America who's come out with a kind of little outriggers to put your feet on for the 500, because a lot of people have got a problem with that feet space. I mean, I haven't got particularly long legs, so it's not going to affect me as much as it is some people. But yeah, no, I don't feel anywhere near the need to stick the old dynamic balance on as much as I do in the okay, yeah, okay, that felt alright. Just using the foot brake now a bit, that's interesting. God blimey, I've forgotten how busy Salisbury gets. Thank you, that's very kind. There you go. Brilliant. What are you doing, mate? You fucking numpty. Sorry, excuse my language. Okay. That feels really good. I can get both my feet on the floor, which is quite a biggie for me actually, to be honest with you, because I've only got a 30-inch inseam. So yeah, the wind's picking up now, and it still feels pretty good actually, I'll be honest with you. Well, it would do. I mean, it's a 250 kilo bike, isn't it? So is this the one? I think this might be jumping to the top of the list at the moment, unless I go the full bike license route, which I'm still considering. For me though, I've still got this thing about the whole riding through the winter and the through wheels just making sense to me. I might be wrong, you know. The other bike that I'm seriously looking at now is the, if I go the full bike license and I practice on is going the MT125 and then getting the Honda NC. I also think personally, for me, ultimately for commuting, the twist and go is just, it just makes sense. Do I see myself on a bike like this? Absolutely, I do actually. So the servicing, that's what I need to find out now. I think, from what I understand, it's supposed to be every 10k once you've had your initial service, etc. I need to double check that, which for me is a big plus, obviously, because you know, I'm probably going to be putting that 10,000 miles, so I'm going to have to get 1 or 2 services a year, basically. So I'll be interested to try and get a breakdown from someone on what they estimate the cost of service is going to be, belt change, blah blah. I mean, in all honesty, that's the main thing that's stopping me from just going out and getting one of these, and why I'm thinking about going the full bike license route, because if I get something like an NC 750 DCT, which will still give me the automatic option, that's every 8,000 miles service, so it's probably going to cost me, and it's an 80 mpg bike as well, so it's going to be more fuel efficient and cheaper to service, I imagine. So well, that was quick enough for me. Just pop into the garden centre. Oh, let's have another. Let's carry on for a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, it's a little bit, when it hits a bump, it is a bit unnerving, I will be honest with you. That's the only thing. I mean, obviously that's got to be the small wheels. It does kind of feel a bit woo, you know. But, I mean, it doesn't deviate from its path or anything. It's just, you just feel that. You kind of, it feels a bit like I imagine it would feel, you know, hitting something with a one wheel up the front, and it's like, ooh, you know. Yeah, it feels like I've got a decent amount of protection. I mean, this has got the shorter windscreen on, which can definitely go up, but my body feels pretty protected. So yeah, the big crux will be servicing. You know, will I be able to find? Will I find you know? Will I find someone that can service it in Bristol? Because if I have to come down to Salisbury to do, I mean, it's doable. You know, a couple of times. The only problem is if something goes wrong with it. Obviously, you know, ideally I want someone I want someone in Bristol. So I'm hoping Down End Scooters or somewhere like that takes it on. I know Fowlers aren't going to, because I've talked to them about that, and they are definitely not going to. They're well in with the Piaggios, obviously. I actually think I prefer this, to be honest with you. I suppose I ought to turn around at some point. Yeah, I mean, at slow, just pace like that, it feels way more secure than the Piaggio. Far less like I'm going to drop it. I don't know whether that's me just getting used to these bikes or not, but and I say at speed, it just needs a bit more effort and lean in the turn. I've not really had a chance to really open it up around here because it's well, it's around Salisbury basically. It's all really restricted, but I suppose in the long run for me, absolutely, what's going to be important is the ability to the stability at the lower speeds. I mean, because I am obviously going to be doing a lot of and dual carriageway, but I also will be doing, you know, the third of the journey is going to be in around Bristol, so I'm going to have to be aware of that. Certainly get some looks, that's for sure. A quick look round. The Michelin City grips. This is the screen that can just move up. Let's try that in the higher position, shall we? That goes up like that. So theoretically you could put that in. That's the handbrake mode. Not quite sure what that does. I think that might be a flasher. That flashes the, that's the headlight, flash double full beam. See what it's like going around this then. Wider than I like probably, but I think that's a question of getting used to it, definitely. It's getting confident with it. Might be the fact that it's harder in a turn there that makes it a bit more stable at slower speeds. Got absolutely no idea what I'd be like doing a U-turn on the slow U-turn of that. It might be worth trying that out actually. So. So how do I feel going to work on this every morning? Well, pretty safe, to be honest with you. That is the bottom line. The sort of road that I'm going to be driving or riding, I think this is probably the answer. Certainly quite windy now, and it feels absolutely fine.